man.
Yeah. Thank you,
I'm
man.
always curious as how people view the world, what it is they see. Through everybody's lens is a little bit different depending on what you do or what you've been through.
Right.
And as a dentist, I'm curious, do you the first thing you notice is teeth?
Like when I talk to somebody?
When you first meet somebody, it's like, damn, bro,
nah.
you gotta get that thing fixed.
Yeah. No, you know what was so funny is that when we started in school, our teacher, he said, when you guys graduate from dental school, you're gonna have to really fight to not look at people's teeth, because it's rude, you know what I mean? If you're just looking at someone's teeth, but because you learn so much, and and it's you look at someone's teeth and you're like, oh, they probably got this or that, or you know what I mean? And you want to analyze that because your mind is so set and so trained for it.
Of course. I always wonder, I see people with braces,
Yeah.
And it blows me away that I'm like, man, it's 2021, how do we still got braces out here? Is that something that, that's just from the outside looking in, that maybe it's more advanced than what I actually think it is?
The braces thing is something that I get a lot of questions about, because when patients come in and they're like, I want to straighten my teeth, and especially if they're older, say my age, 30 and up, it's they want to know, it's what options do I have so I don't look like a 17-year-old, you know what I mean, walking around.
That's me, man.
And so I do give them an option that I'm actually wearing right now. It's Invisalign.
Yeah.
So Invisalign is kind of cool because you give them trays. So I can remove, it's a barrier of plastic, and I can remove it, and each of those plastic barriers will move your teeth a little bit every 2 weeks. So you change them out every 2 weeks. So little by little, these little aligners, we call them, will move your teeth little by little, until you get to the last aligner. Say you have 30 of them,
right?
And number 30 should get you to where you need to be,
right?
But that being said, Invisalign is great. I absolutely love it for patients, but it doesn't actually, for really complex cases, you really shouldn't do Invisalign so much, but maybe just regular traditional brackets and wires. So but I'll tell you that most
you already shot my dream down. I was like, Invisalign, here we come.
I know, man. No, but honestly, most cases now you can do with Invisalign. They're so advanced.
The other thing that I'm curious about too is wisdom teeth,
Okay.
A lot of for my family at least, and back in the day, it seems my aunts, uncles, grandparents, that wasn't a thing to get your wisdom teeth taken out. And nowadays it seems like that's one of the number one things they tell you to do is to take your wisdom teeth out. Why is that?
Well, most of the time with wisdom teeth is if we tell somebody, let's go ahead and get those out, it's typically because there's gum tissue over the wisdom tooth. So if the wisdom tooth is popping out and there's a little bit of gum tissue burying the tooth, in that little pocket you can get food trapped, and it could cause an infection in your gums and cause a big problem for you. That's why we decide, let's go ahead and get those out. And I do remove a lot of wisdom teeth in my office because it's nice to have people's gums all the way cleared up, nice and clean back there.
So, what interested you in becoming a dentist? What was that?
I talked with Amy and Tina about this last time we had our live, because I there's a certain part of me that I really always I try in everything that I do to help people. Because my parents they raised us that way. One thing that I always saw growing up is my parents would take people into our home. And so when I was growing up, man, there was somebody always in the house. Like, it was somebody, it could be like, you know, someone that they brought from Mexico to work with my brother. And a lot of immigrants, like, were at my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we
just
took
random
them in.
people.
Yeah, we took them in.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, so my parents would say, hey, you guys stay at our house, you know, we'll help you out. Basically, they didn't really pay rent, you know, they were just there with us. And then, you know, my mom even made them food. It was it was crazy. I think it was just a way for my mom and dad to give back, right, because they were in that situation at one point. So when I was growing up and I saw all that, I was like, somehow I want to be able to help, you know? And then that, coupled with also the fact that all of my brothers are business owners. So I always was around business, you know?
I got you.
And so I thought I wanted to do something in business.
Right.
And one of my brothers is actually a dentist. And so we had a lot of conversations, and I'm like, man, like, dentistry to me fulfills both, like, being able to help and having a business.
Right.
Every day I help somebody in one way or another. Right.
Yeah.
Like, they come in with tooth pain, I help them with that. Or a cosmetic concern, I help them with that. Or like that. And that's just like, it feels good at the end of the day, even though you're tired, to know that, you know, you did something good for somebody. I found it to be something that I really, really enjoyed and started to love.
But, you know, for me, it was like, it's interesting how, like, culture affects it, you know, because in like Mexican culture, and I can't speak for everyone, but I want to say, at least in my experience, like, the dentist wasn't really a thing unless you had pain, you know, and a lot of it was because I think, you know, affordability.
That's exactly what it is.
Like, you know, at least my mom, you know, single mom, she was like, you know, if you don't have no pain, I'm not gonna just take you to get a checkup, and then they find something, and then, you know, I gotta pay.
We're really in trouble.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that kind of stuck with me, and it's kind of a hard thing to break now.
That's funny that you say that. You know, I see it every day, but it's kind of cool listening to it from your perspective and somebody's perspective, maybe on the other side, right? Is like, this is what I feel. I feel it's going to be too expensive, but it's really refreshing to see it from that, because I grew up the same way. Like, we didn't go to, we went to the dentist simply because we had a dental coupon to be able to do that. Right?
When you're younger.
When you're younger.
Yeah.
But then after age about 12, I don't think that I was ever very consistent. Either. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's not right because of the disparity there, but there's so many programs out there now to be able to help. But the hard thing is sometimes that the access to care is very difficult.
It's interesting, you know, you don't really think about it, but I mean, you use your mouth for so much. You know, you consume, you're drinking, you know, everything is, you know, you're breathing through your mouth, you're smoking, you know, all that is right here, you know, and it's something that, you know, I think it's overlooked and taken for granted.
I agree.
Until you have an issue. You know what I mean?
Then it's priority number one.
Yeah, then, and, you know,
the tooth pain.
And by that time, that bill is racked up. If you would have done the checkups, maybe.
Yeah. You know what? That's actually a really good point too, because I feel like sometimes it's misunderstood that, like, oh, the dentist, you know, found all these cavities and, like, you know, how and stuff. Well, it's like, it's a lot cheaper to do that, like little fillings here, like maybe do the regular checkups, than to come in with, you know, a train wreck. The expense of that is so high.
The other thing though was with COVID, you know, everybody got hit by that. How does that affect you now? Because were you able to practice during COVID still?
We got shut down for 2.5 months. Like, the Department of Health shut us down. We actually were the first or second office in town that shut down.
Oh, completely. Really?
Yeah. So I told my staff, we're shutting it down. I was in Miami. At a course. When things really went south.
Oh, shit.
And so I was literally at the Miami airport, and I had to let go of all my staff.
Oh, man.
On a phone call.
Jeez,
from the Miami airport and tell them, hey, you're basically all laid off. Because for the next 2.5 months, we're not going to open.
Right.
I think it was July. So we shut down in like March, and then like June or July we opened up again.
Mm-hmm.
And when we opened up, it was super slow for a little bit, and then it just really picked up because all the people that we didn't see, all of a sudden they're back, you know,
right.
and they want to.
And they probably had things going on too, you know.
And they did too.
Right.
There was a lot of people who were scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really want to go to the dentist because they're working on people's mouths, and then that's gonna, cause a big issue. We did a few things in our office. We put face shields on. So we double mask, we put face shields, which is extra to what we had regularly done. I always wear a lab coat, you know. Then the other thing was we put air filtration system all throughout the office. So it just filters the air. So that way, when one patient comes in, the other one comes in and the air's already clean.
Right.
For the next patient.
Yeah.
We have people wait in their cars. No, like they don't wait in the lobby. So there we did that stuff, and that was a good change for our patients to help them.
How do you deal with like saliva and all that, man? Because I get grossed out by stuff like that.
Right.
What do you just build like an immunity to that, or you know?
Well, I think so the first time I remember I saw like a surgery in the mouth,
oh man,
I kind of wanted to throw up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh dude, this is too much.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I was assisting a doctor, and I was kind of like just like that.
Yeah.
And then it's just like anything. It's like you start getting used to it, and you start seeing it over and over. And what I find now is, now that like I'm doing the work, right? Then I was assisting, but now that I'm doing the work, I'm so focused on what I'm doing that everything around it, it's like it doesn't really faze me. You know, like say that there's a lot of blood in the field, or there's this or that, which we do big surgeries in our office. We place like tons of implants, we do big extractions, and all of that comes with a lot of blood, but and saliva. You know?
I didn't even think about the blood, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually taking it a step further.
But like out here, for example, not just here, but everywhere, like meth is a big drug, man.
Yeah.
Have you had any of that? And is like meth teeth curable? The only reason I thought of this question was because I happened to run across like a page or something, and then it was like some dude got arrested or something, and his teeth, you could just tell was, you know. Is that like curable, like meth teeth?
If we catch it early enough, we can help. But for the most part, when people are on meth, you know, and it's extremely, obviously very addictive, we know that, but if the teeth have gone a little too far, then it's extremely difficult to be able to restore those.
And what does it do exactly? Because it looks like it becomes like hollow and then black, and it just looks all bad.
It basically breaks down the teeth, and that usually what meth will do is it'll break them down. So say like, you know, this is your root here.
Yeah.
This is your tooth, like right here, the tooth like close to the gum.
Yeah.
So like the watch is the gum, and then right here it'll just break all this down. And it just eats at the tooth. I feel really bad when I have to do that, because it's like a lot of times my patients that are, you know, meth addicts will be so young, and then all of a sudden I have to start talking dentures, and it's like, dude, like you're 22 years old and I'm talking about a denture to you. It's sad, you know, but it's definitely something that will make your teeth go really, really fast. Tobacco, unlike meth will break down your actual teeth. Smoking cigarettes will actually break down the bone around the teeth.
Oh, okay.
So it's two different things that it'll do. And they hit two different spots. But, you know, that's why people who smoke have a higher likelihood of losing their teeth, not from decay, but just them becoming loose because of infection around the tooth.
But is there anything else that is kind of like a day-to-day use that people do on that can long-term affect their teeth, like, you know, drinking alcohol or something in that realm? Is there anything like that or no?
You know, That's a good question. It does have to do with what we consume, and obviously we know candy, right? Like everybody, like the dentist, is going to talk to you about candy, like, you know, like the sugar or whatever.
Pochita, I need to stop by Pochita's candy, bro.
You know, man,
but no, yeah,
so good.
yeah.
But like, there's one that is overlooked a little bit, and it's overlooked because we as dentists sometimes don't take the time to really talk about this with people, and it's acid reflux. I mentioned it not too long ago, but like if you are burping a lot, have, you know, like heartburn, and that keeps happening, or your diet, like you're consuming a lot of soda, which is really acidic, right? And you know, orange juices, lime juice, like you put lime on everything, or like, you know, lemonades. A lot of the acidity that'll break down your teeth sometimes faster than a small cavity will. Really? Yeah. Wow. Because it's just such an acidic environment you're creating for your mouth that bacteria love it. In our office, we do a treatment rinse, which is called a CTX treatment rinse. Okay. But this treatment rinse, what it does is I put people on it for about a month, and it decreases the acidity in their mouth, which that will help you more than really anything else, and improving your diet too, you know, and doing those two than anything else will. Really? Yeah. We don't think about it. Like, you know, water's a good one, for example. Don't even tell me water's bad, bro. No, I drink. Watch. Oh, man. I'll tell you, bro. But you drink a lot. Look at this guy. That's right. Great. This is all water. That's great. Dasani water. Oh yeah, that's trash anyway. Yeah. Well, Dasani water is about as acidic as Coca-Cola. I knew it. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Well, it's just acidic. They put things in it to, you know, make it taste good. Right. But it's more acidic. But things like Fiji water is better because they add certain minerals to each water to give it their own flavor, their own thing, right? And then it just becomes a lot. They put a lot of acid in it, so it becomes more acidic, and then it'll break down your teeth. So sports drinks are the absolute worst. Okay, like Gatorade, stuff like that. Yeah, and Dasani's down there. Core water is really good. Which one? Core. Core, okay. And then Fiji water's good. Let's go. Evian it's good. Smart water is a little more acidic, but it's still good. Okay. Tap water is like really good. It's right in the middle. That's okay. And then Essentia water. Oh, okay. I haven't tried that. Is really good. 10 pH. I just looked up acidity and water brands. And so it gives you a whole chart. Fiji's the one, and I think it was because of Lil Wayne. Oh, he had like a bar back in the day, like Fiji water, Granddaddy Perp. I was like, Fiji water, but no. And hey, you're a fan, huh? I love Lil Wayne. Yeah, back, especially back in the day. You know what I mean? He was, he was a man back then. Like Block is Hot. Oh yeah. That was. I remember that. I remember when the Block is Hot album dropped. It was like his first solo album, I believe. Yeah. And I was living in California. That album dropped, and Blink 182's album dropped, and I was in a weird phase where I liked both. You know. You know, it's so funny. I did too, man. Yeah, yeah. You know. And then from there, I mean, it just has, you know, when everything else, Carter 1, 2, 3, like, you know, he was through the roof. But he kind of stopped for a little bit after that, like a little bit. Yeah, he did. And then like and then all of a sudden, like he appears again. Yeah. And he just took the world by storm. Yeah, because he was doing like little mixtapes on the low that nobody was listening to. I didn't pay attention to him until he started doing like the Drought series mixtapes. Yeah. And that's when he was, you know, nobody was rapping like that. Like it was just like, you know, bars and just all these lyrics, you know, was another level. Crazy, you know. And yeah, I remember when No Ceilings dropped, you know, I was already like in my, I think early 20s, I was about to be 20 maybe. And he had that line, he says, Fiji water, Granddaddy Perp. And that was at the time where I was so easily influenced. I was like, okay, I gotta go get Fiji water, and we gotta go find the Granddaddy Perp and whatever else, you know. But the other question I had too, because you know, I'm a hip hop fan. Yeah. And I remember the first time, I want to say it was the first time I ever heard of this,
was through Kid Cudi. And they say he got veneers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think Drake had a line about that too, about veneers. So what exactly are veneers?
So a veneer is it's a little piece of glass basically, or porcelain that goes on the front of your teeth.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's just like it's like just a cover.
Oh, okay.
So that way, and we reduce a little, not very much tooth structure. It shouldn't be removed. It should just be a little bit, maybe like 3 sheets of paper thick, like of tooth structure. You have to just kind of smooth out
On your actual tooth?
on your tooth. You have to smooth it, and then you put the veneer on there. You cement it, so it's cemented on there permanently.
Oh wow.
But they look really good. I mean, they look awesome.
Oh, okay. So it's not. I always thought it was almost like a denture type of thing, where it goes over your teeth or something. You know what I mean?
No, it's cemented on there. It's on there. Yeah.
So,
and
sorry.
no, go ahead.
Do they? So for that, do you have to have like fix your teeth first and then throw the veneers? Because it seems that people with veneers have perfect teeth.
Yeah. So the best thing to do is, if someone's gonna get veneers because they want to improve the shape of their teeth and make everything look nice, you want their gums to be clean, so they have to go through the cleaning process. No cavities. We don't want any cavities in the mouth, you know. And when that happens, and if their bite is good, they're not going to break those, you know, because they're just little pieces of glass a lot of times on there. If their bite is good, then we can go ahead and move forward, you know. But if their bite's off and they're going to be grinding on them,
you don't have a perfect bite.
Yeah, if they don't have a good bite, then they could, you know, wear those down or break them. So we do them in our office. People love them. I mean, they absolutely love them.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a big deal.
See, now that you're explaining it, seems more like of a flex. Like you can afford veneers.
Yeah, that's probably why the rappers are
right. That's what they're doing. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That was my other way out, man. You're just shooting down all the dreams. But I think you had said like designing a perfect smile.
Yeah.
Or something. How do you design a perfect smile, like for you?
So, a smile is designed by looking at the whole person's face, not just their teeth. So, we look at their eyes, we look at their nose, we look at their, you know, how their face is shaped, because that all plays a role in what kind of teeth can go in your mouth. You know, if like a person is smaller, their face is smaller, you're not going to put big teeth on them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so you have to measure out their face. You have to make sure that you understand the dimensions of a face when you're restoring them. And also, what age are they? Right?
Okay.
Because as we get older, this line from your nose, the bottom of your nose to the top of your lip, it gets bigger. So so your lip becomes less mobile on top. It doesn't move as much, and then you start showing more of your lower teeth. But then, say you do veneers on someone who's age 75,
right?
You know, which they still, people ask for them all the time.
Really?
So if they do that, how are you going to design a smile? Well, you have to take into account their age.
Okay.
And do they want to look a little younger? If they do, then we have to show a little bit more tooth, right?
I got you.
But there's some things that nature doesn't allow us to do.
Oh, okay.
You know?
That's interesting.
So there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not just slapping veneers on people and calling it good. But there's a study, and you know, we have to make sure that we know where we're headed. The other, like, kind of the higher elevation of things is where, like, people's teeth are not really going to function for them, and they're really loose, and they've got infections, and so we have to pull out the teeth, you know.
Right.
So dentures or all of that. But there's this one procedure I do where we have to pull people's teeth. We talk about it, and we go ahead and we place implants. So it's little screws in the bone. They go in the bone.
Yeah.
And we bolt an appliance on top.
That's crazy.
And so it looks like teeth. Wow. And it feels like teeth. And they function like teeth.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this lady right here, she got it.
Those are all not real teeth.
Those aren't real teeth.
All of them?
All of them.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That is, yeah, I would never know.
But you would never know like, you know, these are the teeth.
Oh, so it's like the whole gum piece?
Yeah, so that whole piece right there goes bolted onto implants that are in her mouth that I placed.
Got you.
So we just tie them up to those implants. And then here's a case where it's like more veneer crown case.
Oh, shoot.
You know.
Looks like that.
But they look real.
Oh, it looks like those crazy nails that girls get.
Yeah.
They get those weird ones.
Yeah, the acrylic.
That is insane. You could correct me on the pronunciation.
Okay.
Alaria?
Oh, yeah, Alaria.
Alaria.
Yeah, Alaria.
So it's a sneaker thing you got with your son.
Yep.
How'd that come about?
So growing up, my parents, even though sometimes like it's like, you know, we didn't grow up with a lot of money, and I've mentioned this before, but what they would do is they would still want to get me like the nicest shoes,
right?
You know, and they were always like looking out for us and stuff. And one of the things they always did for me is got me Jordans.
Oh man, that's dope.
So that was so the Jordan brand is special for me because of my parents. And so growing up, I was like, well, I love the Jordan shoes. And then like even at work now, like it kind of takes me back to my childhood when I slap on put on a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
And you know, I do my work. I go throughout the day, and it makes me think of my parents sometimes. Or, you know, it's just
so
like,
you got the J's when you're doing.
I do.
That is dope, man.
I wear my.
Yeah.
I got a lot of ones, you know, and then the classics.
Yeah, those are dope. One of my favorite shoes.
Ones. I got some cadences. I got different Jordan pairs. But because I have that passion for shoes, my son picked up on it, and so he's into shoes.
Yeah.
And so he's like, and he loves business, and I'm like, where does he get it from?
Yeah.
You know, like, all of his uncles are
man.
businessmen, and then we started our business. So he wanted to do something. He's like, Dad, like maybe we can like sell shoes, and I'm like, all right, like let's start kind of doing something there. And I feel bad sometimes because I don't have like all the time in the world to put into it, but he researches stuff, and he kind of looks at different things, and he gets excited about it. But I tell him that's really good, man, because if that's your passion, man, and if that's what you really like, follow it. And a lot of times, like, it started with my parents, right? For me,
right.
And I love the shoes, but like my parents helped me to get that. And so my thing is like, well, I'll help him to maybe follow his dream with what he wants to do. So cool. We've been working with Getting Where You Fit In, and we do consignment with them.
Oh, okay.
So he's been able to save up money. We don't really do a lot on Instagram anymore. We just do more consignment.
Okay.
And so we'll buy shoes from different people here locally, and then we'll sell them to Get In Where You Fit In, and we make a profit.
Got you.
When they sell off their shelf.
Oh, that's dope.
And then so he gets so happy when like he sees the check. He's like, oh, Dad, like that's super cool.
How old is he?
He's 11.
Oh man, yo, that's great, man. That's awesome to have that like drive and vision at 11. That's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, like, who knows what he'll end up doing, later on. This last time, I said, all right, like, I've helped you a lot with the sales, like, because I'll buy the shoes and I'll go to Get In Where You Fit In, and I'll bargain with, I'll tell him like, hey, come on, man, like, give me more on that. And so he's seen it now a few times, but like, I tell him, okay, this next time you're gonna do it. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. So we got the shoes, we got some paranoises.
Oh, okay,
And so we went ahead and bought them off a friend, and then from there he took them, and then it was like super awkward. Like he's like, how much will you give me for those? And I'm like, all right, there's a little bit to learn, but he did it.
Hey, man, that's all that.
And I left.
Oh, really?
Like I basically went around the store.
Oh, okay.
Like if I'm pretending I'm looking at shoes.
Right.
And so he's sitting there with the guy, kind of like there,
11-year-old.
But Mike and I, we have a good relationship there. And so he knows, you know, he knows, and he takes care of us. So,
that's awesome, man. That's good, though. That's a really good, you know, thing to learn as a kid.
Right.
You know, how to bargain and things. Because, man, there's, you know, grown adults who, they'll take the first bid. All right. Oh, yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Whoa, bro, relax.
Like, yeah, don't do it.
Bring it down a little bit,
right?
You know? Man, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Something else.
Come in. Be like, hey, I talked to the doc.
Yeah.
And, you know, I gave him the rundown on my teeth.
Yeah, he said it's going to take a lot.